morning, guys. Last day of the month, 30th of November. Hope you all had a good weekend. I'm just going to do some analysis on the daily bars over the forex pairs that I trade on the hour one breakout system. Starting with the euro against the dollar. Last Wednesday, we broke out of this trend channel that EU has respected since August. Mark up the points where it's been respected on the high and low sides. Now it looks set to test the September the 1st high, 1.2 or 120. Since breaking out here, it was kind of choppy to start with, but once we got above this kind of double top here, you can see this big bullish bar that happened on Friday, which is quite sneaky as it was Thanksgiving, and I was expecting markets to be pretty quiet, as the US traders were probably on holiday, especially on Thursday, and usually it rolls over into Friday. But the euro put in a big bullish bar here, so obviously some people were trading. They took advantage of that, and this confirmed the breakout of this trend channel. Although we're still in this sideways consolidation range, 120 is going to be very important in the future. If we look at the monthly chart, you can see that we've broken out of this trend line for over a decade, since 2008. So this is quite a big break for euro. We even found support off it a few months back, and 1.20 120 is the next point of resistance. A break and a close above that, and this 2018 high of 125.50 looks to be the next point of resistance. Should we club above that? We could do that this month, last day of the month, and it's been a huge month for the euro. Look at this candle. So today could be really important for the euro. And 120 you need to keep an eye on for now, especially today, because a close above that at the end of the day will mean that the monthly chart is closed out of that resistance, and a test of 125.50 might be next on the cards. Right, let's look at cable. Pound against the dollar is it's messier than the euro dollar. It's not as straightforward. It looks set to make a decision as we trade around this resistance area. Big round number 134 looks to be providing the resistance at the moment, and this seems to be the hurdle that we need to get over next. Should the bulls overcome this, then 134.83, the back of September the 1st high, is going to be the next point of resistance. Also keep an ear out for any Brexit news. They're still in negotiations at the moment, but this might be the fundamental push GU is waiting for, to get above this 134.80 level. And a close above this should send the pound higher. I've also noticed this kind of awkward head and shoulders pattern, which is kind of forming, although it's not the most obvious sign, the most obvious pattern. I think if we do get any negative news, then a push down to this trend line looks set to be on the cards, and any break below might be a break at this neckline, and we could see a big sell-off on the pound dollar. So anyway, just something maybe mark up in your chart, something to notice. Let's move on. The dollar yen. I'm not going to spend too much time on this pair, as I spoke about it last week. Until we break out of this descending wedge, I remain neutral. So we either need to close above it or below it, and before we decide which way we're going to go. So yeah, I spoke about this last week. You can see it in the videos. If you guys want to check it out. However, I have marked up these big round number levels as put horizontal lines on my chart. Might be worth doing on yours, because you can see that this pair in particular, there it seems to be really important, these big round numbers on any time frame. So I think it's worth marking up on your charts just to make it more noticeable when we begin to trade near these psychological levels. GJ, we have looked to put in a series of higher lows, continuing this uptrend. Big round number 140 looks to be providing the resistance at the moment with this kind of double top here. We'll need to break above this to continue this uptrend. And again, 1st of September, this high similar to GU is the next resistance area for this pair. So keep an eye out for that. If we close below the lows made on Friday, then 13785 will be support, and also 135 will be the next one. So keep an eye out on GY for those levels if you trade it. EY, I noticed this inverse head and shoulders pattern here, that being the head, left shoulder, right shoulder, head, and big round number 125 being this clear neckline. A close above this will expose the highs made back in August and September around big round number 127. So how do you trade these head and shoulders patterns? Well, it's all about measured moves. So what from the low, in this case, the low of the head to the neckline is 350 pips. So to trade head and shoulders, if we get a close above this, then we should move up another 350 pips. That would be the measured move. And as you can see, 350 pips is more than enough to come and test this 127 area. So this is just something that I've noticed and something you guys might want to keep an eye out on your trading. But 125 seems to be key. The Aussie dollar. When you look at the monthly chart, let's start with that. When you look at the monthly chart on Aussie dollar, you can see what a great year it's been for this pair. After selling off more than 1,500 pips in the first quarter, we've rallied and managed to claw back the losses and in fact add an extra 400 pips on the year since we opened this on the start of the year. Although I'm not sure how to get yearly candlesticks on TradingView, I'm quite new to it, so I'm trying to figure it out. But this would be a huge pin bar or shooting star, whatever you want to call it, for the year on Aussie dollar, and we look set. If we can close above this 74 level, we look set to continue the this move higher and test the 81 to 25. This double top here put back in 2017. So yeah, just something to notice on the Aussie dollar. Looks set to continue this uptrend, and after this consolidation this last couple of months, a close above 74, and we look set to push higher. Let's go back to the daily. As you can see, big consolidation here, sideways, but also this huge uptrend I mentioned last week, and we're closing in on this 74 level. So a close above that on the daily, and maybe last day of the month, so very important for the monthly chart. A close above this, and we should continue this uptrend. Dollar CAD. I'm not going to talk too much about this. 129.50 is key for this pair. I talked about it last week. So have a look at the video back then, and you can see what I think. If you just a brief thing, if you check out this tremendous double top here, especially with these huge wicks, 129.50, you can see has been pivotal for this pair in the past, and we tested it last week. So a close below that should expose a move down to 120. So something to keep an eye on with UC. Right, onwards to gold. I mentioned last week that I expected after, after this break and sell off here, I mentioned that unless we see a revert up and a test of this area, any kind of inside bar, we would see a continuation of the downward trends and a further sell off in gold, which we did, and we broke below 1800. 1800 was, you could see we found a little bit of support there, but not much. You would have thought this would be an important area for the bulls. They didn't want to defend it here, and it in fact turned as resistance overnight today. So the bulls kind of stepped in around 1765, which was this high of the range back in May, which seems to be acted as support. I got those areas marked up as I thought that's where they would step in. I actually thought it would be a little bit lower, around 1750, which might still be the case should we see a break of this level. If we close below that, then I think 1671 or 1600 will be the next area that we test. So a few levels to keep an eye out on gold. 1800 will become resistance now, and should we close above that, then I would expect that 1850 area to also provide resistance that was previous support back here before we got the break last week. So really technical gold, but it has been good to trade for the last couple of days. Right, let me just have a quick look at the calendar. I'll just highlight the things that we kind of keep an eye out on. 9:30 is usually the time for UK data to be released, and it doesn't really matter if it's not that important. Usually the pound reacts to it anyway. Somewhere around 9:30 you can get a little bit of trap, but the big one this week is the amount of central bank speakers that are. Lagarde speaking at 10:30 today. There's also 2 o'clock I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. Another ECB speaker, Hacker Rainen. Somebody else can have a go at that. But also we got Powell testifying tomorrow, and a boatload of other ECB speakers and Fed speakers this week. His testimony starts around 3 o'clock, which is not so bad for us. Where is it? Lagarde speaking again, 5 p.m., which is fine. It's outside our trading hours. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, being an idiot, I missed it. Yeah, 3 p.m. tomorrow is Fed Chair Powell testimony, followed by 5 p.m. ECB Lagarde. So they're all coming out in force, trying to maneuver the markets and to suit their dialogue. But this is happening all week, so you need to keep an eye on these because they will move the markets, and you might not want to be in positions when they start talking. So keep an eye on that. I'll be doing another video on last week's review and the performance of the L1 breakout system. So be sure to check back in if you're interested in that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get better at these videos. It's really difficult for me. I'm not the best speaker at the best of times, so please bear with me. I'm sure I'm going to get better with anything in life. You need to practice these things, and if you want to improve, and that's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, thanks for listening. Cheers.